Hello, everyone. I am Dr. Hopelyn, and it's a privilege to spend the next 20 minutes or so with you speaking on a topic that has changed my life and continues to do so. This is why I'm so passionate about it, the topic of personal growth. Now, each one of us, each one of you here is distinctive. And I've used the word DISC, D-I-S-C, to remind us of how unique we are. D for distinctive, I for individual, S for special, and C beyond compare. To help you remember this distinctive, individual, special, and beyond compare individual you are, I would love for us to repeat this together. I am distinctive, individual, special, and beyond compare. Now, let me ask you, how many of you believe you have reached your full potential in your life and your business? Wow, no one, not a single one of you. Why? Because we all believe we have room to grow. I know I have room to grow. Do you want to be a better person tomorrow than you are today? Growing yourself daily guarantees that you will be better than you are or were the day before. Now, before we dive into personal growth and making ourselves better, 20 minutes is not enough time for us to dig deep into all the facets of personal development. I did a Google search recently just on the phrase personal growth. Guess how many entries came up for personal growth? 1.34 billion. That's right, 1.34 billion. And that's just on personal growth. So I want to be clear with you upfront from the very start. We will not cover everything there is to know about personal growth in this session together. Fair enough? Okay, now with that many entries on the topic of personal growth, I think the best way for us to begin is by going straight to the top of the personal growth guru charts. Wouldn't you agree? Yes, one of my mentors happened to be at the top of the list. He has written several New York Times best-selling books on leadership and personal growth. In fact, he has written more than 100 books and sold more than 26 million copies. He is Dr. John C. Maxwell. His book is The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, is one of those New York Times bestsellers, and is an outstanding must-have resource. I recommend that you add this book to your library for reaching your full potential. Now, we will spend the rest of our time together, as I said, approximately 15 to 20 minutes, exploring one of John's 15 invaluable laws of growth, the law of pain. This law is an important aspect of our personal growth because the law of pain tells us that we will experience growing pains, life lessons requiring some form of pain management. How we handle these painful moments affect our growth. Are you ready to go and grow? Well, let's begin. Now, I am looking forward to just sharing with you on the law of pain, especially now during a season that we're all going through. The law of pain just resonates so powerfully with every one of us. Now, the law of pain says that good management of bad experiences leads to great growth. So good management of bad experiences leads to great growth. Now, this law is a tough pill to swallow because pain is something we naturally avoid. But this law is about teaching you and I how to turn our bad experiences into positive steps leading to our success. Now, we all have them. And let me guess, no one likes them. Let's do a little experiment. If you love bad experiences, write in the comments below. Yes. Or write the word love. How about that? Write the word love if you love bad experiences. Likely no one is going to write that in. Now, let's look at the responses. No one. I'm shocked. No one in this room love bad experiences? Really? Okay, let's try again. If you like bad experiences, then write like in the comments below. Interesting how that works. No one loves them and even likes them. Now, John McDowell, who is quoted in this chapter in The Law of Pain, says every problem introduces a person to it himself. Let me repeat that. Every problem introduces a person to himself. The bottom line with this law is that everyone has bad experiences. We can't avoid them. Some of us run from them. Some do whatever little bit they can to deal with them, and others embrace them. No matter what, we still can't avoid them. Now, the last set in that group, those who embrace, are people, the leaders who choose to learn from difficult and very challenging experiences. I remember the first time I spoke at a women's retreat that a colleague of mine invited me to. I had planned everything out and I'd rehearsed what I thought was enough. But once I started talking, I went blank. I felt the humiliation rising within me and I wasn't quite sure what to do. I could tell the audience, the woman in the audience, sensed my hesitation to continue. It was very painful. And it was a tough situation to be in. I started stumbling over my words, and I felt as if the ground under me could just open up and I would disappear. Have you ever experienced that? Fortunately, I remembered a story that I knew. I knew it quite well, and I switched to it. After I told the story, I was able to get back on track and finish the talk. From that point on, if I thought I had rehearsed enough, I rehearsed some more. Now, we all have bad experiences. We all have bad experiences. You have heard the saying, life is filled with ups and downs. The problem is that most of us want ups and ups. We do everything in our power to avoid bad situations, yet they will always find us. It's hard taking it. It's hard taking it one day at a time when you feel like the day just attacked you all at once. And it is true that no one likes bad experiences. Look how many persons said they raised their hands or made a comment, whether they loved or liked bad experiences. But if you learn to manage bad experiences well, then you get something good out of them. Plus, you have great war stories to tell. Now, so many people take the should have, would have, or could have path when dealing with bad experiences. Now, consider some of the types of pain we face. The pain of incompetence. I should have seen it coming. The pain of financial loss. If I could only get it back. The pain of not being number one. I would, be at the top if it wasn't for, and you can fill in the blanks. And then the pain of change. They don't know what they're doing. They should have listened to me, and so on. Now, we know that very few people, quite honestly, can take positive experiences from bad experiences. Many people become bitter from having bad experiences over and over. Few people become better. I want to help you find ways to become better. Now, what I have just shared with you are a few examples of what John calls pain files: the pain of incompetence, the pain of being number one, and so on. But just because we have our pains in files like these doesn't mean we should ignore them. We keep files so we can remember and grow from these experiences such as these. To look back on, to refer to, we need to turn our pain into gains. Now, how do we do this? We do this by choosing a positive life stance. By this, I mean we need to look for the positive lessons in every experience. There is always something positive, but you may not see it at the time of the experience. When you live your life with a positive life stance, you find that the good will become better and the bad will not be as bad as it seemed in the moment. One way is to embrace and develop our creativity. Neil Donald Walsh, he says, life begins at the end of our comfort zone. Use the gift of a bad experience to open your mind and challenge yourself to use your own brilliant creativity. Embrace the value of your bad experiences. You have a choice. You can look at your bad life experiences and let it be a setback from them, or you can learn from them. It's been said that in life, there are winners and there are losers. Besides the final score at a sporting event, I would say for leaders, there are winners and then there are learners. One of the biggest pushes we get going forward from bad experiences is making good changes after learning from bad experiences. A bend in the road is not the end of the road unless you forget to make the turn. What happens to us is rarely the end of the road. However, many of us focus on our feelings about what has happened to us rather than focus on our thoughts and actions that will lead us in a better direction. Now, the next time you are faced with a bad experience, remind yourself that you are on the cusp of change. Check your emotions and use them to be a catalyst for change and growth, not for them to paralyze you. So use them as a catalyst for growth, not to paralyze you. Now, let me just give one more thing to think about related to the law of pain, directly connected to leadership. In other words, how do we lead from the law of pain, and how do you apply the law specifically to your life? Okay, applying this law to your life, there are several questions you can explore. But in this limited time, let me give you a few to think about. How do you deal with pain? Do you do anything and everything possible to avoid it at all? So let me repeat that. Do you do anything and everything possible to avoid pain at all? Or do you endure it since you know you have to get through it some way or the other? Or do you work to embrace it and remain positive despite having bad experiences? We all know people that do any and all of these, right? Now, thinking about where you are on the spectrum of how you view bad experiences can guide you to taking great advantage of growing from such pain. We know that getting an understanding of what has happened and recognizing the emotions you have because of these experiences is a start to creating positive action going forward. Now, there are numerous pathways going forward. Here are a few things you can do. Get input from others. Understand your emotions. Identify a specific desired change you want to have. Think about what positive change you can influence, either in yourself or in others. Above all, remember that personal growth requires action. If you haven't been acting when a bad experience happens, then you are simply avoiding. Personal growth requires action. It's as simple and as difficult as that. Don't let another painful experience go by without learning and growing from it. Now, as you deal with your day-to-day situations, whether business or personal related, you're going to have several painful experiences. How you choose to deal with those determine how you positively or negatively impact your circumstances and influence those around you. What I'm saying is, the next time you are faced with a bad experience, remind yourself that you are on the cusp of change. Now, we briefly touched on one of John's 15 invaluable laws of growth. So imagine going deeper into these laws in a group setting. What would happen to you if you and your organization took a deeper dive into these laws? What would that do for your personal growth? Now, before we wrap up, I want to invite you to sign up for my free newsletter, my free monthly newsletter, and I'll put the link below. And secondly, I want to invite you to my upcoming mastermind on developing a growth mindset. You and your team can take your personal and organizational growth to the next level with this mastermind. So I've reviewed all that we shared today, and I just hope this session added value to you. I want to thank you for your attentiveness. It's been truly an honor being with you today. My name is Dr. Hopelyn, a coach, speaker, and a trainer with the John Maxwell team. Have a fantastic day.